Hey, we're back for match number 3 in our Trying to Go Infinite Challenge. Episode 1. This hand's pretty reasonable. 3 lands not ideal, but still 1-drop creature into spells is usually good enough in a lot of matchups. Usually Searing Blaze not all that good in these style of matchups. So weird to be flipping back and forth between formats that have fetch lands and don't have fetch lands. Sure. So here we probably just want to play our sorcery speed stuff, since our opponent's unlikely to be able to interact here. Guess they could potentially have a spell force of negation, really. Pitching spell snare. Okay. Let's go to combat here. Should have played the land at the very least here. Hopefully you don't have another copy of Spell Snare. That's a lot of Spell Snares. Probably gonna get Esper Charm this turn. Nope. At least let them put Opt on the stack first. Say, do you have another? Puts card on bottom. Okay. So there's a decent chance they could die here. Alright. So full on Esper Control it is. Do, 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 do. What you got, friend? Okay, that didn't make a lick of sense. Unless they have a spell snare here, I guess. Innocence and attacking in here. Force our opponent to burn life if they want to remove that. Not a good time to flood out deck. Okay. Still no reason to make a move yet. Cool. the sideboarding. Definitely want the 2 copies of Skullcrack, 2 copies of Exquisite Firecraft. Searing Blazes aren't the best in these situations. And Skewer, as we saw there, can be a little bit awkward, so I think we'll cut one of those. Interesting matchup. Four lands, this hand isn't keepable, unfortunately. This hand's pretty reasonable. Question is, what do we put back here? I think Skewer, since it's the most awkward card in our hand. Interesting. They have a discard spell on one. Sets up for a much more interesting turn. Well, it shows us Tassiger here. Esper Charm? Or Drown in Sorrow? Sure. I think we'll keep the Goblin Guide for post. Certainly just deploy Tassiger here, which would kind of suck. Alright, but they're likely short on lands. Or at least untapped untapped sources. Once again, they should kill this main phase. Like I said, they should kill it main phase. Opponent's like, wait, what's going on here? Sure. So if we draw a land, they could potentially be dead. Guess not anymore. Kaya's guy will being brought back would be mildly annoying. Interesting. So snap Kazgile. Put them to 12. Now we go into another holding pattern. Guess they could activate Tasker, which would be mildly annoying. Snap Kazgile, sure. Way. Stoneforge Mystic. Mildly annoying. So we know one of the two cards in their hands is Stoneforge Mystic. The other one's a Teferi? Okay. Mm-hmm. Opponent has one card in hand, and that is a copy of Batterskull at the moment. Sure. Okay, so you're dead. Oh, never mind. They can equip Batterskull, and at least I presume that's what they're going to do, right? See if they have the foresight to do that. Alright, on to game number 3. So, does the fact that they are on a Stoneforge Mystic package change what I'm sideboarding? Not really. Maybe I'm supposed to hedge a little bit. Bring one Searing Blood and a smash. Not exactly scientific sideboarding, but hopefully this will go well. Alright. This hand is awkward. I think we keep it, but it's still awkward. Awkward from the sense of no creatures to really pressure their early life total, so. Really? Okay, whatever. Nine points of burn in hand. Hopefully you don't have the... I was going to say, hopefully you don't have the turn 2 Stoneforge here. Third Skullcrack is nice. I'm about to get drowned in the locked. Yep. Nope. Don't know what this is then. Doom's Veto, sure. 1 billion counterspells. Okay. That's mildly annoying. Hopefully they don't have a Kaya's Guile floating around. Does not appear as if they do. That is freaking annoying. This means we're probably pretty much dead here. Kill the Stoneforge. Don't know that we actually have a chance here. Poor sequencing on our opponent's part there. What's our hope? Draw one of... Smash here? I mean, I theoretically could Firecraft it, but we're really not getting anywhere. So annoying. Could play Eidolon, they'll just bounce it and attack. Could Firecraft it, that'll require them to bounce it and put it back to their hand. guess theoretically that could buy us 2 turns. Don't know what we're playing towards at that point, but outs are outs, right? Going to 6 just seems so risky. If they have a counterspell here, the game's over. I mean, okay, I mean, we do have the out of potentially drawing our last copy of Exquisite Firecraft. Presuming they don't have something else up their sleeve. Yep, we're at the end of the line here, friends. Yeah, we weren't drawing anything anyway. Off to a disappointing 0-3 start in our attempt at an infinite challenge, so hopefully we'll have better results next couple matches. This has been John for MTG Nexus. Hey, we're back here for match number 4 with our attempt to go infinite challenge. Not off to the best of starts so far. This hand also is a mulligan due to 4 lands. This hand's fine. Probably put back the Sunbaked Canyon here. Is it Canyon or is it Mesa here? I think it's Canyon. Against AM Smile. Territory, so humans or spirits of some kind, possibly. Elf. Okay. Kill the elf, bolt the bird, whatever them mannerism is. I was gonna say, there's no way they kept a 1-lander, right? Sure. Eidolon, that way if they want to vomit out a rather large turn, they're going to have to take a lot of damage. Okay. There's kind of nothing else to do here other than maybe run our blocks this turn. Guess their best bet's to do this and then run out Izuri. You know they have Azuri at least in hand. Go to combat, probably attack with these two. Definitely want to leave Eidolon in play here. Triggers. This is definitely threatening lethal if they don't block. Six with an Eidolon still in play. Outside of specifically Collected Company, I don't know if they have a way to get back in this game. And I don't even know the Cocoa will be enough here, but frankly. Alright. As far as Elves, Elvish, clan color. So I think our best bet is the 4 paths and the 2 Searing Bloods go down, copies of Boros Charm and Lava Spike. Could bring in obviously more copies of Skullcrack here. Path Exile isn't ideal against a deck that's trying to leverage mana, but it's still a reasonable enough card, particularly against Gizuri. I think we'll go with that because we're definitely in the control deck on the draw. Sounds okay-ish. Definitely leaning really hard on Eidolon here. Yep. Be really unfortunate if they have 2 1-drops to pair with that. So they could potentially go bonkers this turn. Yeah. Pass turn. Did run that out before combat. Alright, might have to trade this off with a little Sentinel if they attack this turn. Pass turn. There are certainly spells they could draw to punish us here. Null out attack, leaves them dead to one spell. One of the matchups that Eidolon really kind of excels in here. So we'll path to exile here just in case. Sure. Burn is a terrible matchup. Oh, whatever, you crybaby. Now the assault really begins. Even though I'm dead here, so... I don't think they realized I was dead here by my mistake. So they're salting off. So I make a mistake and they're salting off and we get a win. Okay, cool. Anyways, on the match number. Back here for the 5th and final match in League number 1 of our attempt to go infinite here. This hand's pretty reasonable. Got the 1-drop into a bunch of spells. Got the mana to cast it all. Would ideally not like to draw one more land, but this hand overall is pretty solid. Especially on the play, Goblin Guide's likely, well, going to get in for 1 hit, possibly 2 before it dies. Florida and have fun. Okay. I think they mean good luck and have fun, but... To my elf opponent last round, I do moderately apologize that we had to end our losing streak at your expense. I ironically made a mistake and should have lost game 2 for not paying attention. So Giver of Runes, possibly some style of... They're gonna shock that in. They are. Okay. Giver of Runes likely has to die here. Guess we'll give them the chance to block. Don't save us a burn spell. Some type of infect deck. So I'd put them to 8. Just better to be controlling against infect if at all possible. So they are... Wow, okay. They have another land? They do. So if they let us hit them here to 9... Any blocks? That way we're not getting hit by any type of spell pierce shenanigans. They have Force of Negation too? Don't think their deck plays quite enough blue cards to support Force, does it? Yeah, pretty much, friend. Pretty much. I'm a burn player, my man or woman. It's what I do. Some to 5. Just let the spell resolve. Yes. No. Maybe. Put you to 5. Play a burn. It's what I do. Alright, come on. Just let the spell resolve, friend. Alright. Pass the turn. They have a third, if they have an untapped green source to go with their... Alright. Could be in some trouble here. Yep. See if they block. So their hand is currently Vines? Might be Might of Old Krosa. Sure. Still no reason to make a move here. Probably should have played Inspiring Vantage there. Dryad Arbor. Sure. Ish. Play around Spell Pierce at all. Hope we draw a burn spell here. Redraws are acceptable. Good game, well played. Yep. Those of you that don't understand, you still die. So, infect, huh? Let's see, Blighted Agent. Infect. So nothing too special going on here. Don't think I want to bring in smashes necessarily. Searing Blood's not that great, especially on the draw. And probably can just cut Boros Charms. Could bring in an argument for Wear Tear or Smash, but I think just trying to play the control role here. Hopefully squeak out of here with a 2-3 this league, since we started out so poorly. Actually, ironically, get to lower our curve a little bit. This is one of the few matchups where having multiple copies of Path's usually a good thing. Yeah, this hand's pretty reasonable. It's possible that neither one of these 1-drops will get deployed until after the Eidolon, but okay, sure. The problem with them leaning on Inkmoth as their primary threat is the fact that, okay, Hallowed Fountain, sure. Means they're going to be very mana inefficient to try to deal us damage. So, see if they have a forest or something here. Might go that and the Blighted Agent. Eidolon's a lot less effective on the draw, so having all the 1-drops plus the, yeah, this feels like a Blighted Agent kind of turn. Or just nothing. Okay. So I could go Eidolon plus whatever, or I could just pressure their life total with Eidolon. I'm just going to pressure their total with life total with Eidolon here. This way, if you happen to have brought in a card like Dismember against Burn, you're going to have to trigger Horizon Canopy, sure. There aren't too many decks, ironically, that can punish Infect for doing their thing. And if we draw another land next turn, we kind of get to go really insane. Be interesting to see what they pitch here. Maybe another land. Just continue to pressure them here. Trigger. Opponent has to cast at least 3 spells. Sure. Sure. Lightning Bolt. And Lightning Bolt. Dead to Exaxes. Alright. So despite the rough start there, I managed to get the 2-3. Be back in a minute with the wrap-up. So back here for the wrap-up for our first league with our Try to Go Infinite Challenge. Obviously we're down 50% of our entry fee, which is kind of disappointing. As far as the build of the deck, I still think the deck is fine. One thing we definitely probably would have benefited from, at least in those first couple matches, was Core Firewalker. I don't know that that is something you necessarily want in the current meta, but just that first 2 get matchups, not playing against red mirrors there, kind of sucked. Obviously against Prowess we had a chance to win the 1 game. I took the wrong line by not killing the Bedlam Reveler and extending the game, as their deck does have some issues actually killing us outside of creatures. 4 path is probably too many, although there were a couple of matchups there where we did bring in the full 4 copies. I think the rest of the sideboard's pretty decent, actually pretty close to what I run on my normal lists. Maybe split down 2 copies of Path with 2 like Flames of the Blood Hand or something else, but I might actually run this list back again because Path seemed to perform quite well in that league. Beyond that, the only downside is running the 19 lands. We still flooded out a few times. Not running the 4th Steering Blaze felt pretty bad in that league, but you know, what am I going to do? Run the Skullcrack in the main or run the 4th Steering Blaze in the main? There's a couple different things we could do here. I made the decision kind of going forward not to try to do the individually daily videos, as those don't seem to be working out, as especially with Pioneer at the moment there seems to be a decline in like modern content as people are shifting their gaze more towards Pioneer right now. A lot of people feel Modern's kind of somewhat solved and Pioneer's kind of the new shiny toy. That said, we'll continue to do Modern content along with the Pioneer content as well as Legacy content. A lot of different things in the works here. Let me know what you guys want to see in the comments. I know what the views are showing people want to see, but that's because Pioneer is kind of the new shiny toy right now. We'll definitely be continuing the Infinite series, just to continue to get Burn content out there, even as we're producing more and more Pioneer content. Beyond that, I want to thank our new Patreon supporter, Issa. Issa he's popped up on the channel every now and again. We've played his mono-red mid-range deck in Modern a few times, so I want to give a quick shout out to Issa for his support. And for those of you that would want to support the channel, check out our Patreon page. Right now it's primarily geared towards Modern Burn, as that's what the channel's been primarily focused on over the months. I think I'm going to be re-gearing it a little bit towards Pioneer content as we're shifting towards doing some red decks, especially in Pioneer. Don't worry, Pioneer fans, I will be doing things besides red aggro decks. Still trying to figure out how to get the Versus series to be correct for the channel. There's a couple different ideas I'm considering. I'm kind of considering a gauntlet series where I play like one deck each week and like play it against a series of matchups that are popping up. Other things, we can just continue to do the random matchups with different people's decks, kind of like Star City does. So there's a lot of different things we could be doing with the Pioneer content in addition to the leagues with like Burn and Prowess and possibly Is It Phoenix. But beyond that, let me know what kind of content you guys want to see with Pioneer. As always, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. This has been John for MTG Nexus. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.